Welcome back to Mama Maria's Kitchen. Today we are going to slice up some chicken breast, just skinned, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We're going to do them Mongolian style. This is one of my favorite recipes. It's a great way of making chicken breast tasty and moist. So it's just basically marinated with, all you need are 4 ingredients: garlic, soy sauce, ground ginger that I have in here, ground ginger, and I happen to have toasted sesame oil. I happen to like that, so I'll mix that in. Otherwise you can use vegetable oil or olive oil, whatever is your choice. So I'm going to start by slicing up the chicken breast. Okay, so here it is here. When you slice up the chicken breast, I like to just put it just like that, face down, so you have the smooth side up. You get the smooth side up, and the side that was on the bone down at the bottom. Okay. Then I take my knife, and place my palm right on the chicken breast. And I'm going to take and just slice. Now your knife should be quite sharp. I use, there's the special cutting knives. I just happen to use whatever knife comes my way. I'm not that particular about certain things. So here you see, there's a nice thin chicken breast, or chicken cutlet, let's say. That's one, and there's another. Now it does take a little bit of practice to get to cut them nice. They're not going to always be even, which is fine. They'll cook just the same. And this is actually the chicken fillet, which is better known as the chicken finger, right here, right there. So that's going to be the most tender part of all. So I'm just going to just give it a little butterfly there. So when you cut the meat, but not all the way through it, that's called butterflying it. Just to even it out, and a little bit on that side. So there you go. There is one chicken breast done. I'm going to make 2 because I quite like it also cold in salad. So let's try this again. So here is the chicken breast. Okay, slice, lift, slice again. There's another nice cutlet. Slice, lift, slice again. There we go. And another one. And like I said, if they're not all the same, it doesn't matter. They'll cook. The important thing is to get them nice and thin, and this is the chicken fillet that I was saying. Okay, the chicken fillet, also known as chicken finger. So if you actually, to make chicken fingers, you can use this, but you also use the rest of the breast. So you cut them, instead of like this, you cut them in strips, make them thinner, so that the way they're all uniform. Best chicken fingers ever. I know my grandkids just absolutely love them. So just for the sake of evening them out, there you go. If you really want to make them really even, or if you're doing a cutlet, then you can take the meat tenderizer, the little hammer, and hammer them down. Okay, so now that's done. I'm going to put these guys back in the fridge so that I can process them later. Now, this is done in real time. The next step is I'm going to get another chopping board and a knife, and I'm going to chop up the garlic. So there's another chopping board. There's another chopping knife. And I'm going to chop up the garlic nice and fine. So my favorite way of doing it, smash, peel, done. And it peels so easily when you just break it up. So you just cut. I've already shown how to use a chopping knife in my very first video that I made for the tomato sauce, Italian style. So if you would like to learn, go back to it because I do it in very slow motion, and it really expedites the cooking. Makes being in the kitchen just a little bit more pleasurable. So now I've got the garlic. I just used 1 clove. I'm just going to add it right on there. So it's right on here to the chicken. I'm not going to add any salt to this, okay, because there's a soy sauce already. Even though it is the low sodium, it already has salt on it. Okay, so now I'm going to add the ginger. So just ground ginger, however much you like or don't like. A little bit of soy sauce, just like that. And a little bit of, I'm putting sesame oil. As I said, I happen to like it. So then you get a fork, or you use your fingers, just toss it all together. And just let it sit there for, you can let it marinate for about half an hour, 15 minutes, overnight. Whenever, the more it marinates, the tastier it becomes. That's it. So you marinate that. Then this gets cooked on a grill pan. I happen to have this one here that we bought in Italy on our honeymoon. It's old, but it's cast iron and it's already seasoned. Not high heat. Don't use very high heat. Use a medium-high heat. So I'm just going to leave these to zhuzh for a little bit, for about half an hour or so. In the meantime, I'm going to get my salad ready, and I might even fry up some potatoes. Alright, so we're back. I made a salad in the meantime. So there's just a little green salad with, I like to put all the rest of the stuff, not much lettuce. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to fry up some potatoes. So all I have are 3 potatoes. I happened to get the red-skinned ones because they were on special. So 3 potatoes will end up costing me maybe $1. And to fry them up doesn't take much at all. Now you have to make sure when you're peeling potatoes that if there's any green on them, you take it off, because that can be poisonous. Like this, see this green right here? That green, yeah, that right there, that shouldn't be on there. That has to come off. Okay, so peel them. And then I'm going to slice them up. It really doesn't take long. It actually takes longer to do the frozen French fries in the oven, because they take about half an hour, rather than actually frying up your own potatoes, because in 15 minutes you'll be done, less than 15 minutes. So while I'm frying the potatoes, I'm going to grill the meat all at the same time. And when it's ready, it'll be ready all at once. So you got your potatoes, you've got your meat, you've got your salad. It takes maybe half an hour to get this meal ready. Maybe 45 minutes on the outside, but it's nutritious, it's healthy, and it's oh so flavorful. Okay, so the potatoes, they're in water. I put them so they won't go brown. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slice them, and I'm going to slice them on paper towel so they will dry. There, stay. So they will dry, and that way you cut down a little bit on the splattering. Also, they come out nice and crispy. So you see how I'm cutting them? I'm cutting them just like that. Just like little wedges, but see the thickness? They're not too thick, okay? On one side they're really thin, on the other side they're a little bit thicker. Just because if you cut them like French fries, they do take too long to cook, and they should be deep fried, and it's a whole nother ball of wax. But you know what? They taste the same. And these ones here, at least you're sure that the oil is clean that you're frying them in, because you're using it the one time. So it's, I guess, the lesser of the evils. But who can resist fried potatoes, though? I don't know. I know I can't. Fried potatoes with a little bit of salt and some ketchup And you're off to the races. So there you have it. See how long that took? That doesn't take very long at all. Just to slice them up. Okay. Just 3 potatoes. It's only 2 of us. So you know the bad part about these is the more you cook, the more you eat. So we try to keep it down to a minimum. So now I'm drying them up. Okay. There, they're all dry. Now I'm going to put the frying pan on. All right, so here we have the frying pan and canola oil. I'll put about a centimeter, maybe a smidge more because they're potatoes. And I'm going to turn it on and let that heat up. I don't go to high, super high heat because the outsides will burn and the insides will stay raw. So at the same time, I have my grill pan right here. So that is for the chicken. Now you see the chicken, how it's changing color, picking up the flavor of the soy sauce, the ginger, and the garlic. It smells absolutely wonderful. Excuse me. As I said, this is really good, even just cold, put in salad. So while the potatoes are frying, the meat is grilling, your salad is ready, as I said before, and you're good to go. It's a very quick, easy meal that doesn't take hardly any time at all. Still heating up, and it should be nice and hot. So when you first put the potatoes in, it goes psh, it fries really hard. And I showed you this trick with the veal parmigiana. The same principle applies. You see, there's nothing yet. So we'll just wait until it heats up. And we wait. Let's see now. Nope, still not ready. Patience is the key to this. Okay, I'm just going to heat it up a little faster. In the meantime, I'm turning on my grill pan on like a medium heat, just to heat up slowly. Because the cast iron, it will heat up high, very hot, but it'll be very smoky. So that's not what you want. Not at all what you want. Whoop. There must have been some water in the frying pan. So let me just turn that heat down a little bit. Okay, so you see it's starting to bubble. Okay, so that's pretty good to go. So we're going to take and we're just going to drop the potatoes in carefully. Oop, my paper broke. Drop the potatoes in carefully so that you don't burn yourself. Spread them out. And let the oil keep heating up. If the oil is hot, the potatoes won't absorb any oil, so they won't be greasy, they'll be nice and dry. And this is still heating up, so medium to medium-high heat. And get a couple of forks. And I don't touch the bottom of the pan because it's, but anyway, whatever. I don't touch the bottom of the pan, or I try not to, because you're not supposed to use metal utensils in this, but I have to use forks to turn the potatoes. Okay, so there we go. And this is taking its time to heat up, but that's what you want. The potatoes aren't anywhere near ready to serve. So when they're almost cooked, you put, because the chicken literally takes like 2 minutes on each side to stay moist. So it has to be very hot. The pan has to be hot. And you put it on and it sizzles right away. And then you turn it once, maybe twice if you have to. It is really, really good. Now, if you have any preferences or any other questions regarding cooking or sewing, please don't hesitate to contact me. Now, I want to make a note. The chicken, this is only one example of how to season it. But the sliced up like this, it can be done in many, many, many different ways. You can do it with turmeric, black pepper, and just some salt and some oil. You can do it Mediterranean style with rosemary, thyme, sage, garlic, of course, garlic powder, or fresh garlic, whatever you choose. And then just add some oil to it before you put it on the grill pan. Now you see how they're browning nicely? I'm going to turn that heat down just a little bit because you don't want it to brown too fast on the outside and leave them raw on the inside. You want them to be nice and crispy on the outside and moist on the inside. And each potato has its own characteristic. The red potatoes, they tend to brown a little bit more quickly. You get the Yukon Gold, they take a longer time to brown. Russet potatoes, they're actually really good fried. All right, let me see this here. So to test the grill pan, to see if it's hot, take and you sprinkle some water on it. Yep, so it's getting there. Not quite hot enough. I'm just going to put it up just a smidge more. These are frying up beautifully. Forgot to turn the fan on. That's a big no-no. See, very simple. All right. Let me see the grill pan. Okay, that's sizzling nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to take the chicken and put it on. Oh, the smell is amazing. So you don't have to put it all on at the same time. You can cook this one and then cook the last bit because it doesn't take long. You can cook them in batches, so that you don't cool down the grill pan too much. Now, if you're a beginner, you might want to do these one at a time. The chicken and the potatoes, do them one at a time. Just put the potatoes, or whichever one you want to do first. I probably recommend the chicken first, because the potatoes are best when they're served nice and hot and crispy. So you can do the chicken and just put it in the oven at 150 so it'll stay warm, and then fry the potatoes. As you can see, it doesn't take long. It didn't take 5 minutes to fry these up. And look at how crispy they are and brown. Just totally awesome. And like I said, at least you know that the oil has been changed, because we buy French fries in restaurants. You never know. I'm sure that they keep it very clean, but it's not a single-use item. Okay. So here we are. The potatoes are almost done. There we go. Nice and brown. Now I ran out of paper towels, so I'm just going to grab a few napkins. They have to be drained and dried. Okay, and we're going to get the slotted spoon, and we're going to take it off. A nice aroma. You can do this with pork tenderloin as well, really good, or some beef, like thinly sliced beef, really, really good. Now, potatoes are done. So dry them all off. The russet, excuse me, the russet potatoes actually didn't absorb any oil whatsoever, and they stayed crispy. These have they have a little more water content in them, so they have a tendency to go a little little, which is fine. They taste great, but just so you know that not all potatoes are created equal. So a little bit of salt. There we go. Now I'm going to just put them in the oven to keep warm. And here's the chicken. Now, do you see how long that took? So let's cut a little bit to see if it's cooked. Yes, it is cooked right through. Cooked right through. And that took like 3 minutes maybe? Over to the side and put the rest on. And you can put the rest of the marinade on. You can go in the oven as well. While we're waiting. Okay, don't leave the ones that are cooked too long. This one here is taking a little bit longer. So I'm just going to turn the heat off and just let it sit there by itself. It'll be fine. Okay, this one's cooked, yes. You can see that one's cooked. Yep, I think it's cooked. It's cooked right through, yes. So I'm done. So here we are, we have a meal for two. We've got protein, chicken, we've got potatoes, and we've got salad that I'm going to dress with an oil and vinegar vinaigrette. Bon appetit!